Hi there. Don't be alarmed that these legs are talking to you. It's me. My name's Jeremy, and welcome to our farm, Cornucopia Orchards, and our house build in progress. Today we're going to be working on a little bitty closet, and it's funny how a small space like this can take a fair chunk of the time it would take to do a whole room. But it's something I've been putting off just because I wasn't sure how I was going to finish it, and now I have a good idea. Also on the menu today, we're going to be finishing out, or trying to finish out, our attic space. The little wings that are on the sides, the pony walls that support in the mid-span for the rafters. And that will be pretty much a wrap on the second floor and the attic. Clearly did not think that through. I suppose I could put a secondary platform, just plan on putting one over top of it, something, to finish it out and to connect it in on the sides, and that would work. This is just a 7/16, just a sheet of flipped upside down so the smooth side faces up, OSB. So I mean, it's not going to be the finish anyway. So maybe that's what I do, is I just run that drywall down past. I've been thinking that what I would do was essentially just to raise a bunch more of these cross pieces and bring those up. And then that would be that portion of the wall on the sides, and that would be really nicely supported and very stiff, and it would cover this perfectly. We'd lose a little space, but whatever, not too much. And then on the back, see, that creates a problem for me because, I mean, then I don't have that support because you've got the cross piece coming in. And what I would probably end up having to do would be to nail a whole 2x4 board or something up that whole stretch. So I've got everything set up in here, and I'm ready to go ahead and close all this up. I'm gonna work the outside in. It's gonna be easier than working the other way around. And I've got a couple of little blocks and bracers and pieces in here. So this board is nice and stiff because I've put a little piece right in here against there. Same on this side over here. And then you can see we've got the little side blocking all the way up. So we should be in great shape to get this little project finished out here. I was going to build that thing in with a finished grade plywood, but I looked at the prices of 3/4, which is what I preferred to use, and even at the prices of half. And I decided that scrapping drywall would be acceptable. We'll put some shelves on it, and eventually it will get some cabinet doors, probably a double set. And I don't know exactly the sizing I'm going to use. So for now, I'm not putting a crossbar or anything in. I will figure all of that out and how to trim it out later. Well, we're all finished up with this closet here, and it's definitely going to serve its purpose. It's a box, and we're all closed up on that now, which, by the way, means that we are now done except for one tiny thing on the second floor here, and that's over in the master hot water heater closet, storage closet And the reason that we are not doing that just yet is because we might be putting in a little hatch door for access, and I have to pick which side, or if the whole thing needs to come, and then, you know, decide whether I'm going to build it or buy it, you know. So there's some choices that need to be made there. So for now, it's up to the attic again, and then last little bits on the first floor after that. And up here in the attic, we're ready to be fitting in on the sides, and I've actually put most of the other side in. There's not really much of anything I can do to film in there, so I just went ahead and did that. We're gonna go down and we're gonna get some of the sheets cut that I had to buy in order to finish this out. I was a few short, about 10 short. All right, down we go. Carrying a few things in hand here. Oh, yeah. I've learned in my advanced state of decrepitude, jumping is no longer allowed. Jumping on hard surfaces is definitely no longer allowed. The space these are going into is about 56 inches. And obviously I could try and cut these in, but then I would have to remove one of the studs, possibly two of the studs in that pony wall on each side in order to get these to go into that interior space. And I just don't want that hassle. They will go in as 48s. So cutting these half makes sense to me. And if I didn't cut them half, if I cut them at the 56 that I think I'm gonna need, then I'd still have every other one with a patch joint. And I have a whole bunch of 4-foot wide scraps, and they are otherwise not going to be used. I have no other purpose for them, and they will fill this need just fine. So what I just cut should be enough for one whole side. And that last sheet that I cut is a 42, and that's the starter sheet because we're 32 minus the two walls. So each side, you know, you're on center starts with a not full sheet. Up in the attic now, and we're going to start on this side here. And I am regretting my decisions to install these. That was definitely one of those things that you do when you're like, oh, I don't have the materials, I'll just keep going. That you then later go, I should have just got the materials. Because now I'm back in that space with no light, and I had to already put in the sound block insulation so that mineral wool stuff is in there. And I got to crawl back into that space and install these sheets now. But it is what it is. I made that decision, and now I suffer the consequences. So first sheet's going to be not 48-inch wide. We're at 42, and that's what this first board over here is 42. And I've selected out a piece that's already cut. It's slightly over 11 inches. I needed about 11. I'm hoping that that will still fit. I'd like it to just fit flush top to bottom and have a nice snug fit. I'm not ever putting floor in here, I don't think. So might as well have it go all the way bottom down, and then, you know, if I was worried about a seal, I could caulk it or something, but I don't think I am. Yeah, I just gotta figure out how to flip it in here. I brought this in wrong. I cut this wrong is actually what I did. That was smart. I did not measure wrong. 48 plus 11 does not equal 57. My child had me up at 4 this morning. So this guy is done, and got a little bit of insulating to do if I can cover this side up. That was my pass-through. That little bit down there. I kind of patched this in here because I can, and because I don't want to have to deal with a bunch more, but knock this out for an access door here. Moved it over a little bit. Got to do the little sides. But yeah, it's a long, dark space now. There will end up being a light right here. You can see this is actually off by a little bit. I haven't secured that in yet because there's a fixture box right there. And there's one up here too. So now we're on to the other side, the other wing. And this side I only put up one sheet. So same deal. I seal it in from the back, finish out the insulation from the front, and then cap the front for that second piece on this wall. And we thought we were done with this, but we are almost done for reals now. Mineral wool. Casey's getting the last of it stuffed in because the bat doesn't quite go all the way to the top of these walls. So you can see kind of the gap over there. And remember, if you go way back in the videos, the beam here, that beam carries more because there's 2 load points on this beam. So it's smaller, doesn't stick up out of the floor quite as far. And so a little bit more on that. And making good progress over here. So pretty soon we'll be stuffing these, and then hopefully we're done stuffing this nasty stuff. Although I did discover today, Casey, that for whatever reason, the outside 2 bats in these bags have more dust. So those ones are ones we don't want to cut. Okay. Just managed to wake up before the sun this morning. It's thinking about it. And as of yesterday evening, the attic is done. Ready for next steps. Cleaned up. That's nice. The second floor also cleaned up. And other than those 2 beams on the floor there, everything in here is all cleaned up too. Don't have any last little tidbits that need done, so we're headed back downstairs. Well, this is the last sheet that has not been secured. It's been hanging out here. This one and this one I already put in here in the corner since we started this room. After that, one little bit there, one piece across the top, and then same on that door. And after that, we're ready to get rid of all this drywall, which is going to be great because it's just scraps at this point. We still will have the mechanical room to do, but there isn't anything left of any size to be worth anything for that room. So we'll just get some more sheets when it's time for that. Let's get it done. We got for drywall waste. Well, we took our drywall waste, the remaining, to the municipal, and for us it's a transfer station that then gets taken from there over to the actual dump. So while we were at the transfer station though, I did have somebody actually run into my truck. And I don't set up and take video while we're there or try and do anything else generally because that for whatever reason, I don't know if it's like this where you live, but people can't drive. Like, they don't know how to back up without trailers. So my truck doesn't have a regular bumper. It has these pads, and that's what the guy hit. But it was funny because, like, I expected to see, I actually thought it was my kids playing around in the truck at first. And so I look at them, and, we have the rear window of our truck open. And so, they can see us and we can talk to them if they need to say something. They don't get out or get in the front of the truck. And so I was like, oh, what'd you do? And then I realized, no, it's this guy had backed his truck into my truck. He didn't have a trailer. And there's like a 50-foot span for him to be backing. He had just snaked his way right back into my truck. So he gets out of his truck and comes around, and he's very apologetic, just a young guy. And there's no damage to my truck, so we just moved on from it. I couldn't see any scratches. And, there is one ding in the front of my truck that had been there when we bought it. So hey, it's okay, it's fine, don't need your information or anything. And then this lady backs up in a minivan with no trailer and comes within, like, it had to have been an inch of I'm just like, Casey, we got to get out of here. I wasn't, like, amazing as far as how much waste we had, but I was pretty proud of it. We'd maybe sent probably 6 bags of small toss to the dump already via the regular garbage can. And that's where we've put all of our garbage from the house that wasn't wood up until now. Just a small can, and week to week, we've been able to keep it just with our regular household trash and that material. And that's pretty awesome. We had the truck bed and then some black bags that we'd already tossed, and that feels pretty good. We've been trying very hard throughout this build process to minimize our waste. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.